That is why they are necessary in this. And I'm sure the Office of the National Security Advisor and the presidency didn't make a mistake in that regard at all.
No, definitely. I mean, no one is saying that they made a mistake, but the problem is how that will be communicated down. This is,
it will, because
and
now
how that will trickle down.
It will trickle down because, of course, some people have done an analysis which I read somewhere that Nigerians are one of the most, let me not say, I don't know the rating now, but one of the most, maybe among the first 10, if not among the first 3, most religious people on the surface of the earth. How do they become religious? Is it not through the clergy? You listen to them, they see it, they read it, and then they touch. But I believe that most of the impacts in the life of Nigerians were made through what? The listening, because a lot of people don't even have the time to read. Fridays, see the mosque all over, highly populated. On Sundays, churches populated, and they go and be hearing. Even sometimes, even in between, you have programs that these people are spoken to. So it is very, very key. It's a very, very necessary tool to use.
Nevertheless, there's been a bit of worry in recent times. I mean, we saw 2 bombings in Adamawa. The last one that happened was very bloody. I mean, we saw a young man go into a mosque and blew himself of killing over 50 people. There are concerns, and even the army recently foiled an attack on, well, a planned attack, it would seem, even though soldiers were lost in the process. It meant it was a pretty serious attack. They're worried as to where this fight on terrorism, whether or not we're really pushing back.
No.
Are we pushing back?
We're not pushing back. We're not pushing back.
No, what I mean by pushing back, pushing back the terrorists.
I have even had calls before now asking, is there a resurgence? Are these people trying to gain upper hand or whatever? No. We are not pushing back. You see, like I've always made this illustration, when you pressurize a container, the content comes out. And if it finds nowhere to go, it does anything. And this group of people that we were seeing that are unrepentant, that have not surrendered, that have not embraced Operation Safe Corridor, are the people that have been seriously indoctrinated. They must die. They have a link. You discover that about that time, it was like spread all over the areas where you have this serious issue of terrorism in Egypt, in Syria. What are the numbers there? So it's not the issue of pushing back. Then secondly, it is trying to, we have told the general public times and again, terrorism is a resilient effort by those who take to terrorism to coerce other people to believe in their own belief or in their own cause. And that is what you are seeing. Now they don't have basis again, as it were, to carry out coordinated attacks. Do you know one thing I will tell you? Each time we go on clearance operations, each time we go on missions just to support when there is a call-up that, look, they have attacked here and here, you don't see them anywhere. They just fizzle because they just, from sleeper cells here and there. That is to again tell the public that they don't have basis as they are trying to make people believe that they have strongholds. No. So we are rather pushing forward. And that is why the objective of the army, backed up by the Air Force now, is clearance operations that we are on now in the second phase of the general overall strategy of decimating, dominating, and occupying. So we are not really pushing back, but it will seem to the ordinary person, permit me to use that expression, who does not really understand the way it works or the way it's operating, that look as if we are pushing back. No. This is about, we are at the crescendo.
Well, there definitely will be follow-ups to that, because some people will say that there are questions as to intelligence. Where did these street-side bombers get the equipment or the materials to be able to make a bomb so powerful without our knowledge? But I understand that Gimba has a question for you from Lagos.
Okay.
Indeed. Let's talk about the religious angle to this, because you did mention that you're trying to get religious leaders to buy into this. To what extent have you been able to get them to agree with you that perhaps this plan will be the best, especially for the Northeast?
Well, that question specifically shouldn't be for me, but I think I can speak on it. because it's being coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor. Now, I will now say that I can answer it because they have been at the receiving end. If you aggregate the casualty rate that have occurred since this insurgency, who were the groups that felt it most? It's the religious people. Talk about the churches at the onset in Kaduna, all over Kogi State, and then Abuja somewhere. Then you now talk about, that's around Abuja, Niger State. Then when it shifted, talk about Kanu in those days, and then Maiduguri, and all over. So that is why they should key more into it. That is our belief. That they should know that, look, aside from the general populace, the other civilians, there's other soft targets. The soft targets that have been most hit by these insurgents, as it were, and terrorists are the religious centers.
So how well have you succeeded in...
That they will key into it.
Okay, great. How well have you succeeded in building that army-civil relationship that's it's part of your projects in the Northeast? How well has that project gone?
No, it has gone very far.